Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you are here. So, I was just scrolling the internet like we do, and a BuzzFeed article popped up about petty divorces. And I thought that, one, I can be petty, and two, I've been divorced. I thought, hey, this would really make a good video. We're gonna have a look at some of the funny ones that I read, and then we're gonna have a look at some TikToks because there's no pettiness quite like TikTok pettiness. So let's get petty.
Like many young adults, I used to try to be kind to everyone. It is until I discovered being petty. In a world where you can be kind, be petty. Call me an onion, because if you cut me, I'll make you cry, bitch. Kill them with pettiness. Meow. With being petty, I get to do things I never thought I would do. Out of spite, of course.
Okay, you're going through a divorce and you've decided to be petty. Fine, we can do that. Here's how you can be petty. Don't contribute to your retirement account. Don't do it. Because retirement accounts become assets that are divisible amongst the two spouses. That's possible money that your spouse is going to get. Why give them free money? You know, they don't want you, you don't want them. Screw them. Don't fund the account. Let it go.
I actually know someone who had this happen to them. They have to basically give their ex-wife half their pension for the rest of their lives. Paralegal here. A couple got divorced over a cat. The wife called the cat Snowball because it's white fur and only wanted the cat to eat wet food and chicken breast. The husband called their cat Lily, again because of the white fur, and believed she should only eat dry food. These two argued for a year over custody of the cat, but did not care about their human kids, aged 15 months, 4 years old, and 6 years old. These two must have really hated each other to fight over a cat for that long. I bet you one of them didn't even want it. If my now husband and I got divorced, I can safely say that I would get the cat because those two only tolerate each other.
A Texas man was forced to move out of his own house that he won in a divorce when his ex-wife repeatedly came up to the women that he was bringing home and handed them evidence that he was a cheater. After the divorce, the wife was able to rent the house directly across the street from her ex-husband, and since she was just living on the divorce settlement, she didn't have to go to work, which gave her some free time to just look out the window and see if he ever brought any women home. At which point she would hop out the front door and say, "Excuse me," to the young woman, and then go up to her and hand her pictures of text messages that proved that the guy she was about to go into that house with was a cheater. She made sure that all documentation was handed over to the women on the sidewalk so that she was not technically trespassing on his property. She has saved about 4 of these women so far, and they even started to gather together for a little book club, a little survivors group, if you will. The husband had to sell his house and move over to Fort Worth so that he's able to have some game again when he tries to go out to the bars and pick up some of these women.
This one, I don't know if it's petty because she's just getting back at a cheater. And cheaters do not deserve a non-petty ex-spouse. They just don't.
We were on a break!
My coworker had a client in a messy divorce where the parties had to split up some antique pots. When the husband delivered the wife's share of the pots to our office, he took a crap in each one of them. What? So he took a crap in each one of the pots. And apparently it was a whole big incident. Wow, must have stunk. Did she still want the pots after that? I have so many questions.
The most shocking prenup I've ever seen, which was enforceable, had a provision that said that for every 10 pounds the wife gained in the marriage, she would lose $10,000 a month in alimony. He was very concerned that she was going to become less attractive and he was going to become more wealthy. So his solution to this was in the prenuptial agreement. He wanted a clause that said if they divorced, she was going to get like $70,000 a month for alimony. But for every 10 pounds she gained from the date of marriage, she would forfeit $10,000 a month worth of alimony. And it was designed to sort of create an incentive that she would remain thin. And that was enforceable, meaning they tried to challenge and set aside that provision. And the court said, this is a disgusting provision. I don't know why you married this person, but it's enforceable. It's a contract. The two of you signed it, and you had a right to sign it, and you agreed to these rules, and they may be ridiculous rules, but you agreed to them.
Okay, this is for everybody out there. If your partner makes you sign something about gaining weight, leave that person right away. It is nothing but problems. I don't care how much money someone has. If they're telling me that I have to stay within a 10-pound weight range, not gonna happen. I'll gain 20 more pounds just to spite them.
So I discovered my ex-husband's wedding website for his new wife. And I noticed a few things in his how we met section that weren't correct. So join me as we correct them. Let's begin. So they met while stationed together in the military. That is true. After a year of getting breakfast at the galley together daily. Let's think about that. That was when he was still married to me. So that was 6 years into our marriage. He told me that it was cheaper to eat on base every day because he ate a lot for breakfast because he worked out a lot. So he started rushing out the door in the morning to go eat there before work, which I was like, okay, cool. You know, that sounds good. And he, during that time, started refusing to kiss me or even say goodbye on the way out the door. I thought he was just in a rush to get to work. My bad, they were having breakfast together. They were also doing partner workouts. See, what he told me is that he was leading workouts on base every day for other service members. Like, what a nice and generous thing to do. Oh no, that was a year of them having partner workouts together. Again, 6 years into his and my marriage while we were actively in marriage therapy.
I'm very curious to if the girl saw this TikTok. Like, I understand people can lie and say, oh, you know, me and my wife are separated, we're not together anymore. This is what I went through with my first marriage. And the girl could be totally blameless, but they can also have known the entire time.
If you start being petty today, you can also get consuming anger, fighting unimportant small battles, damage relationships. But if you're Beyonce, 2 Grammys, bitch. Scandalo. The best part about being petty, it's free 99. So what are you waiting for? Life's too short to forgive. Hold grudges and start being petty today.
Legal secretary here, we're presently fighting the court to let this man receive his entire alimony in live chickens. The court has said, can't you just use the money to buy chickens? He has remained steadfast that he will not accept any money, only chickens. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with accepting chickens as alimony payment. Who doesn't want a group of little chickens running around in little dresses and hats? I doubt that's what he's going to do with them, but a girl, myself, I can dream.
Life is too short to be the bigger person if they started it, so be petty. Be petty, 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 because it is what they deserve. Okay, they started it, you finish it. Because sometimes when they started and we don't finish it and we just walk away because we think that's finishing it and they make a fool of us in front of other people, sometimes when we just walk away, that gives other people the impression that they can play in our face, and before you know it, we're being dragged out into traffic and everybody's playing in our face and we're getting hit by all these cars called trauma, and next thing you know, somebody's convincing you, well, this is your fault because you don't know how to let stuff go and you don't know how to move on and you don't know how to heal and forgive and forget and all of this stuff, which places this false burden on your shoulders as if you're responsible for somebody else's conscious decision to hurt you. And now it's your responsibility to... It's not your responsibility. That's my point. It's not your responsibility. If they started and they can't handle what you give back, that's on them. Now, if you're on your healing journey and you don't wish the worst for anybody, you keep not wishing the worst for anybody, okay? You do what's best for you. But if you needed somebody to tell you to be petty today, be petty, because I sure wish I was. And now I'm gonna be. Toodaloo.
Well, there you go. That's your sign and your permission to be petty. There's just something so rewarding about not being the bigger person. That being said, in all seriousness, if you are going through any sort of breakup and you have children, do not be dicks to each other. Your children are not pawns. It's not fair to them.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Think of the children. Won't somebody please think of the children?
No, stop. Think of the children.
I'd honestly love to hear about your petty moments, so leave a comment below and have the best day.